You're looking at a report created by R Markdown, and you can see that it consists of some text and some charts. Normally you would actually create your charts using the script, but then sometimes you will have to write your text by hand. In this example, I've created all the text automatically and dynamically. So the benefit is that if your data changes in the future, your report text would automatically change to reflect that. If this is of interest to you, then please keep on watching. This is R Markdown, which is going to create a Word document. I'm setting some initial options in the option chunk and then using these libraries. And I'm going to put a plot script here, which is going to generate a chart for us. You can see that I've given the figure width and figure height in there. So let's run it and see what happens. We got a simple chart which was created. So let's start creating some descriptive analysis for this. So I'm just going to put some static text in there. So the first heading is analysis of diamond prices. So let's create a new R chunk in there. First, we want to describe how many observations or how many rows of data was there in the diamonds data set. So I'm creating another subheading called cuts, and now go into the R chunk and I can use the glue syntax and say there were n row diamonds. So whatever you want to put in the curly braces, it gets evaluated. But there's obviously a different way of doing that. You can also use the paste syntax or the paste zero syntax. I prefer to use glue because glue is much more powerful than simply paste. So you could have done something like this as well. And both will produce the same result. But glue is much more powerful when it comes to some other application. So both of them, identical, would do exactly the same thing. So let's finish this RMD and knit it and see what results we get. Save it and knit. And we have two lines which are identical. One from the glue syntax, other from the paste syntax. But we have this false in the front. How do we fix that issue? So yeah, that's easy to fix, but all you need to do is go to the chunk and say results equals as is. Let me also remove the second syntax, the paste syntax from this. And if we knit it, we should get one line, and this time it's proper. There is no false in the front. Let's start expanding our analysis. So first we want to see how many cuts are there in our data set. So using the diamonds data set, we can pipe it out and say, I just want to select the cut field in there. And then I just want to see the unique. So it will only list one cut at a time. So, and if I type it out, you would see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cuts. So that's good. So our aim is to display this text automatically in our R Markdown. And how do we do that? So I can use the glue syntax now. So I'm using the glue_data command, and I'm passing the cut. You can see the curly braces in there. When I do that, it's going to produce exactly the same result. So the magic of glue starts now. I can use the glue_collapse syntax, and I can say that the separator would be a comma, and at the last, when you have to show the last item, you should say and let's see what happens. So this has become a string, and it's actually in a proper English so that we can use it in our R Markdown. And finally, we can use the cat statement, and I'm using the glue now. I'm saying which consists of cuts, and then I'm using in the curly braces the S description, the string which was created above, and I'm putting the stars there. Stars make it italics, and we can see the results. You can see that it has actually put that string up there, and you can see that this is in italics. And if you wanted to make it bold, you could have put 2 stars there on the left and the right, and that'll give us a string which will be bold, as you can see. Now you would have a question, can we dynamically create these headings and subheadings? Yes, we can do that. So I'm going to remove this from there and bring it inside the R chunk so that it can be created dynamically. And all you have to do is wrap it around the cat syntax. So I'm typing it out and I'm putting a \n to give a new line. You would see that the title or the subtitle has been created automatically. We can add empty lines by using the \n there. And now let's start expanding it further. I want to do the count for different cuts. So we can simply write a DPLYR syntax and counting how many cuts are there or the frequency of the cuts. So if I type it out, you would see that the results are given in kind of a tabular fashion. It's basically 2 columns of data, cut and end. But we would need this as a string to be able to show that in our report. So again, I'm going to use the glue data syntax. So passing this out using the pipe to the glue data syntax. And in the glue data, we can mix a normal text and the text which we want to evaluate. For example, I've put the cut under the curly brackets. This will be evaluated from the cut column which is up there, which we just counted. And putting the 2 stars on the left and right makes it bold. And then again, we can put a normal text in there. And I say cut, so many cuts had, and I want to get the frequency. How do we get the frequency? We can use the n. Remember, we did the count. So when we do the count, it has actually given us another data field called n, which gives the number, as you can see at the bottom as well. So if I now run this syntax, this is going to give us a string, which is nice and easy. It can give us something like this. It's repeating it for each cut. So fair had so many diamonds, good had so many diamonds, and so on. It is good, but it's still not that good to display as a text. So remember that we use the glue collapse, and glue collapse will give us more sophisticated text. So you can separate each line by a comma, and in the last you can say and now it looks much better than before. But there's a dot or the full stop, so I can remove that and everything looks good. Now to display that in our RMD, we need to put the cat syntax there. So I'm getting this string to print it in our RMD. And in the last, we can put our full stop. Remember, we remove the full stop after each sentence. And we can put 2 \n to give a new line and an empty line in there. So it looks good. Now we can see that it has given us a nice text, which we can display it in our RMD. Let me create another R chunk and I'm going to produce a box plot now. And if you're new to these kind of charts, we have a GGPLOT 2 playlist. You can watch and learn about so many other charts. To add the description about the mean prices, etc., I'm going to create another R chunk and then put results equal as is. And in this chunk, we can add our title called pricing and then a subtitle called mean price. And then I can use the DPLYR to calculate or group it by cut and then summarize the mean price for each kind of cut. And then using the syntax, we can see that the mean price for each cut has been given. We can now wrap it up using the glue data syntax and then glue collapse, and that'll give us a proper string which can be used in our RMD. Let's create another R chunk, and this time I want a subheading of highest price diamond, and I can find the highest price diamond by using this syntax, and then we have the highest price. Let's create the glue syntax for that, and then that'll give us the highest price item. And another code chunk for the lowest price item, and see how I'm changing the arrange. This time I'm starting with the lowest price first. Okay, let's knit our document, and looks good. We can see all our dynamic text being shown properly, but let's see if there's any other problems which we need to fix. And I can see one problem immediately. This subheading, which had 2 hashes in the front, is not being rendered properly. So there's something wrong. So the first thing which comes to mind is, why don't we create, instead of 1\n, give 2\n, so 2 feeds. And let me repeat it for more or less all those chunks. And then try it out. But it looks still the same. I can see the 2 hashes up there. Now let's try a different approach. So I can see this problem which could possibly cause it. So I can wrap it around a cat syntax. So I can say cat and then pass a string to that. So let's see if this fixes it. No, we still have the problem. We still have the 2 hashes and it's not being displayed as a heading, or a subheading is being displayed as a continuous text. So we still have the problem. This time I'm going to try and put the \n in the front and after that subheading, and let's see if that fixes it up. So let's try to knit it, and all we did was put the \n, which is the new line characters, before and after that subheading, and let's see if that makes any difference. And if I go and scroll down, yes, we can see that now the highest priced diamond and the lowest priced diamond is being shown as a proper subheading. I hope you found this information useful and practical. There is a series of RMD or R Markdown videos which we have. Watch them in a sequential manner if you want to learn it from scratch. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.